So starting off, Sim's going to lead it off at P1, Jock in P2, me 3, J Well Beloved or Squash is 4, NW Star 5, Mindlex 6, and 7 is Vosey. So leading off into the first corner, Sim's going to take an early jump off of Jock. Jock's going to be behind him, and Squash in P3. I messed up my jump. I had a little bit of a penalty. Jock goes flying off the track there, and they're 3 wide. Squash, Sim, and Jock into the third corner now. Vosey closing in pretty quick. Vosey went from the back to 4th place in the first corner. I've dropped back to P7 now after I messed up my start. Sim is still leading the field though. Squash goes a little bit wide there off the track, cuts back down. Vosey is in P3 now. Went from 7th to 3rd in the first 5 corners. Vosey's got a 0.5 second penalty though. Squash is going to overtake him after he serves that. Jock now looking at the tail end of Squash there, trying to overtake Squash, and Sim's starting to pull away from the rest of the field now. It looks like I might actually catch up a little bit to Mindlex. Mindlex going a little bit slower around that corner. I'm going to have a good run on him, looking for the outside line here, cutting back down, maybe just a little bit, giving him some space. And I throttle out of the corner for a P6 position there. NW Star is trying to catch back up to Jock and them. Jock 1 through 4 are now battling for those top 4 positions. Vosey is in P3. Jock's looking for an overtake on Vosey. Squash gets into Vosey just a little bit and jumps off the track again. He might have to serve a penalty after that one. Vosey looking for an overtake on Squash now, coming around the last corner. And Vosey's going to have that slipstream as well as Jock. Jock's going to be in the slipstream of Vosey. And I think Sim is just pulling away from the rest of the field now. Starting off lap 2 now. Vosey's got the inside of Squash now. Looking for the inside line there into the first corner. Jock takes out Squash. Jock goes for a dive bomb there and ends up spinning Squash out. And they're going to park on the track. Yellow flag flies as the rest of the field drives by and they get back into the race here. So J Well Beloved Squash and Jock now 6 and 7 after getting into an incident there. Mindlex is in P5 and I've moved up to P4. I'm going to try to track down NW Star now, going into the next couple corners. Go a little bit wide there. I don't want to be doing that. But I'm going to see if I can track down NW Star going into this next right-hander. Going into the hairpin now. I have a little bit quicker of a run than NW. I'm going to catch up just a little bit there. NW is just trying to catch up to the rest of the field now, or to the leaders. Vosey looking to try to catch up to Sim. Sim's still pulled away from Vosey. These 2 guys are really fast drivers. And Sim is just gone, as well as Vosey. Vosey's gone compared to P3 and 4. Vosey coming up to the chicane now, hoping he can get a little bit of a run through that chicane. And Sim is still leading the field 3 laps in. Vosey in P2, jumping from P7 to P2 there. NW Star, I'm now looking for an overtake on NW Star coming into the final corner here. And I have a good run on him. I'm going to go up the inside, and I'm going to overtake him for a P3 position. NW Star looking to get back into my slipstream there. Maybe not, as he pulls out of that slipstream. Going up into the first corner now. NW Star might look for an overtake. He looks for the inside line there. I'm going to give him some space as we go around that first corner. And I still have that P3 position. He's going to try to fight me for it. He goes into the grass a little bit and manages to get a run. He has the inside line again, pushing me out wide. And he gets that P3 right there into that corner. No contact through that corner. He comes down, a little bit of contact there between me and NW as he just turns down a little bit early. But I have not moved yet. I'm still in P3, NW P4. Squash and Jock now coming up to the battle, P5 and 6. Squash going a little bit squirrely there and almost losing traction of his car. Jock losing a little bit and going a little bit wide there. Jock's going to try to track down Squash. NW Star still looking to make an overtake on me. Squash now looking for an overtake on NW. He's going to have a good run there. He's going to go look for the outside line. He doesn't have it. He's going to tuck back into that slipstream. Jock's got the slipstream of Squash and NW Star. Jock might have a good run here. Going up into the chicane, I'm still leading in P3. Sim and Vosey seem to be closing up the gap a little bit. Jock overtakes Squash there into the chicane. Squash looking to re-overtake him, and he can't get it. And he's dropped down to P6 again. Squash has a good run through that corner, the final corner here, and he's going to have a good run coming out of it. I don't think he's got enough speed, though, to overtake Jock. He's going to have the slipstream, though, so he might be able to look for an overtake on the straightaway. NW is now on my tail as we go down to the first corner again. I'm going to look to defend that inside line. Jock's going to shoot up the inside and pinch me in between him and NW Star. NW gets a little bit sideways and gets taken out by Squash after we get into a little bit of contact there in the first corner. Squash now moves up to P5. NW's dropped down to P6 after managing to kind of save his car a little bit. And Squash is going to try to track down me and Jock. Me and Jock now in a battle. I've dropped down to P4. Jock's got the P3 position. And I'm looking for a re-overtake here as I go for the inside line. Squash is now in P5 trying to catch back up to me and Jock. Into this hairpin corner here, Jock comes down a little bit early there. I'm going to try to look for an inside run here, and I don't get it. Squash is going to be on my inside, or my outside. And going up to the next couple of corners here, I have a pretty good run on Jock there. Squash also has a pretty good run on me. Coming up to the back straightaway now. I'm still trying to overtake Jock there. I've got a slipstream. Squash has my slipstream. Jock's trying to break it, though. I'm going to stay straight and let him lose a little bit of speed. Coming up the back straightaway up into the next chicane. Jock's still in P3. Squash looking for an inside run on the... No, he's not. He's going to tuck back in. A little bit of contact there. I push Jock into the chicane a little bit. Lose a little bit of traction. Squash is going to have a run on me now. He's going to look for an inside line to overtake me for that P4 position. I've moved down to P5 now. And Jock is in P3, kind of pulling away just a little bit. We're going to go up here to Vosey and Sim. Sim's still leading. Vosey's not far behind, though. We're going to go on board with Vosey now. Vosey looking to try to catch up a little bit of time, make up some time here on the 5th lap out of 20. He's going to drop down to that second gear. He's going to use as much of the track as possible and throttle out so he can kind of catch up to Sim up there. Then we got Jock. Jock's kind of leading me and Squash. I'm trying to track him down. We're going to go to Squash's point of view as he's trying to track me down here in P5, looking for that P4 position. He goes a little bit wide there. He's going to have more speed than me, but he also risks a penalty for that wide turn there. I'm looking to catch up to Jock there. Squash has got a pretty decent run into that hairpin. Coming out of it, I pull away just a little bit, though. And it looks like we're getting a little bit of spacing out between 3, 4, and 5. Squash is trying to catch up to me now. I'm looking to try to overtake Jock for that P4 or that P3 position. If we look back, you can see Squash trying to catch up to me. And then we got NW Star up there on the, NW Star up on the hill there, trying to catch back up to the field. We're going through the chicane. I jump off the curb there. Squash loses a little bit of traction there coming around that chicane. And Jock has still got the P3 position, using the sliding to his advantage to get that cornering out of the car. And Squash is going to tuck back into my slipstream once more. Once we pass the start and finish line, we're going to let you guys... This is going to be full throttle from now on, or for this next lap. We're going to let you guys hear the cars and just kind of watch the battle without me commentating. So starting lap 7 now, Vosey's closing in on Sim just a little bit. He's going to be in that Falcon car for the Mazdas here at Nürburgring Ring. The number 4 car trying to catch up to Sim. Sim running for the Speed I think it's Speed Warriors is their team. Vosey's a solo driver. He doesn't have a teammate. Sim's teammate is actually in P3, trying to catch back up to the 2 leaders here. And Vosey's going to look for a pass here into the hairpin. And doesn't have it. He might have a little bit of speed out of that corner, though. Sim's just trying to pull away from him now. And I don't think there's any other battles going on other than these 2 drivers right here. Vosey's going to have the slipstream of Sim coming up the back straightaway now, going up into the chicane. We're getting ready to start lap 8 here in just a few corners. I think we got 3 corners to go before we start lap 8. Vosey's got that line through the chicane. He's going to catch up to Sim just a little bit. Coming around this final corner, though, will he have enough speed to get up into that slipstream, get a little bit closer, and maybe even draft off of him for that overtake into the P1 position? Can he go for the lead right here? He's got the speed. He's got the slipstream. Is he going to pull out of it and look for that inside line into the first corner, though? It looks like he might stay tucked in behind Sim here. He does look for the inside line, though. He goes up into P1 now. He's got the inside line. Sim's going to have to try to rebattle him for the P1 position. It looks like Squash just lagged out as well. Squash is no longer in the race. Sim's got it the inside line. Vosey goes wide. Sim's back into P1. Vosey's got the outside line now. He looks for a cutback, and he can't get it. I don't think so. He cuts back twice. He's going sideways into that corner right there, or coming out of it. Almost loses his car. That's the second time we've seen a Tokyo Drift in the Mazda series. Last week it was Jock at the, what track was it? Not Interlagos. It was one of the one with the corkscrew. I can't remember what the name is right now, but Jock overtook the P2 or P3 position by Tokyo drifting around a corner and overtaking the position. Sim's gonna have to serve a 0.5 second penalty now. Vosey's right on his tail. Vosey goes through Sim for the P1 position. Sim's gonna have to try to retake that P1 position after serving that very, very unwanted penalty there. Vosey's got the P1 position, though, going around the final corner now and getting ready to start lap 9. Not really any battles going on. I think Jock's pulled away from me. He's got a 1 second penalty, though. I'm going to try to track him down, coming up to the final corner now. I'm having a pretty decent race. I messed up. I went from P3 down to P7 after messing up the first corner. I jumped the start, and I overshot the corner and it reset me on the track. But from P7 to P4 is okay, but it's not what I'm looking for. I'm down 2 races in points, so I really need those P3 points. I really need to get up onto the podium to get those points. I think I'm 5th in the season standings right now. I'm not 110% sure. NW and Mindlux are very spaced out from each other. It looks like we might get a bit of a battle again with Vosey and Sim. Sim's trying to catch up. Vosey's looking to pull away just a little bit, though. Vosey is the 2024 Cash Cup champion for the Warrior Motorsports League. Sim is the P3 champion, or the P3 driver for the Cash Cup. And somehow I was P2. I know exactly how it was. Sim actually blew his tire on the final lap of the championship, and that cost him the P2 for the season. But Sim's looking to have a better season. He's won 3 out of 4 of our rounds so far. I think he's won 3 of the races. This is race 4. Can he get 4 in a row, or will Vosey dethrone him or take away his winning streak? This is Vosey's first race in the series. I don't think he's raced other than this one. So if he wins this, he'll get those 25 points for the season, or for this race. Sim's still looking to try to catch up to Vosey. Vosey's got that gap on him, though. Vosey's got a really good line. Sim going a little bit wide there, cutting down to try to keep the speed on his car. Vosey goes wide again. Sim's going to have a little bit of a run. Maybe gain a little bit of time there into this corner. Vosey's got a great line through this section, though. He's usually, I think he only lifts. I don't really think he brakes. But Vosey already setting the fastest lap. A 1:35.255 as the fastest lap of the race. Sim's trying to track him down now. And we got a battle now. I've moved up into P3 once more. Jock's trying to track me down. We're going to go on board with Jock. Jock's trying to regain the P3 position for me after serving the 1 second penalty last lap. Jock's fastest lap being a 1:35.831. Just 6/10 off of the leaders for his race time. I don't know what my time was. I think my time is a 1:36.589. And Jock's going to have a run through that corner, and he's actually going to have the slipstream again. Will he look for the inside through the chicane and try to overtake me here? I think I'm going to brake early and let Jock go ahead of me into the chicane. I do brake early. Jock's at the inside line. I try to go for a switchback. It doesn't work. Jock has the inside line. We'll get into each other just a little bit there. And Jock slows down and lets me overtake the P3 position after the contact there. Starting lap 11 for us. We got 9 to go next time around. Jock's got my slipstream coming into the first corner. Will he try to go for a dive bomb again? Doesn't look like it. He's just going to keep tucked behind me for that slipstream. So we got a battle for P3 and a battle for P1. I think Sim's trying to catch back up to Vosey still. Vosey's pulled away quite a bit, maybe a 1 second gap between them. I cut back down to try to defend against Jock. And I go a little bit wide here, and I almost lose traction. Jock loses a little bit of traction there. Gets a little sideways. Coming into the hairpin now. Jock's got the inside line. I'm going to let him by as not to cause any chaos here. I'm going to cut back down, but I don't think I have the speed to re-overtake him. I've got the slipstream, but not the speed. I've got a good run through that corner, though. I'm going to look for it. I don't have it, though. Jock's going to try to pull away now. If my mic starts to sound static, it's because it's raining outside as I'm commentating this, so bear with the sound quality. It's starting to rain pretty hard now. Jock still in the P3 position. I tap him there and I get off, or I get on the brakes so I don't cause any incidents. I kind of nudge him there into that chicane and I let him keep the position. I flash my lights at him there to let him know I'm sorry. He's going sideways there, drifting the final corner, and I've got a little bit of a run on him now. I might be able to barely get into P3. I do retake the P3 position, and it's a drag race down the front straightaway into the first corner. I brake a little early there, and I'm trying to look for a cutback. I don't think I got it, though. I'm going to stay outside. I like running this line. You go really far wide, and then you cut back down to the inside to get that speed for your car. You don't really have to drop down any gears. You can stay in third and do it right there. Jock's got the outside line, though. He keeps a little bit of speed through that corner, but I'm going to go for the inside again. And I'm going to lose a little bit of traction, but now I'm right on Jock's tail, coming up into the hairpin another time. Jock's still got that lead on me, though. Coming out of the hairpin now. I have a little bit of a run on Jock. I'm going to get right on his tail here. I'm going to brake a little bit early and keep my throttle on through there. Brake a little bit early. Jock's going to go a little bit, gets a little scared there for me coming up the inside. He gets a little loose there, but he keeps the P3 position and I get slowed down just a little bit. Coming up the front straightaway, or the back straightaway now, coming up into the hairpin. Jock is still leading me in P3. We're going to go up here to Sim and Vosey. Sim is actually caught up to Vosey quite a bit now. Mindlex gets the blue flag, letting him know, hey, the leaders are here. Move out of the way. And he does move out of the way. He lets him by. He stays outside, allowing Vosey and Sim to get the overtakes on him. Vosey still leading the race. Went from P7 to P1. He's the reigning champion. Sim's going to have to beat him in points this season to knock Vosey out of the champion's chair for our league races. Vosey's going to stay the 2024 Cash Cup champion, but can Sim get a P1 for the season here? Three P1s and a P2 wouldn't be too bad for his points. He's still leading over everybody. Pretty freaking... I think Sim's got 100 and something points, and P2's got 80. So Sim's got a pretty big gap between P2 and P1. So Sim might actually win this season. Coming up into the chicane now. Sim breaks a little bit late as to catch up to Vosey, and he has a good line through there, but he gets a little loose coming out of that hairpin there. Coming up into the final corner, Vosey shoots for the inside line, now goes a little bit wide and throttles on. He does have a pretty good racing line. He understands the tracks. I think he's been on this game a little bit longer than everybody else. Sim's got the slipstream though. He's going to look for an overtake. Will he have the speed into the first corner? I don't think he will. Braking late again. Sim looking for a switchback. No, he's just going to stay to the outside. Sim is trying to follow Vosey though, trying to stay in that slipstream, catch up to him just a little bit. Sim is fighting hard to get that P1 position back from Vosey. Vosey goes wide again, and Sim stays a little bit in the line. I'm not sure how Vosey hasn't gotten a penalty yet for those wide corners there. If I had known that that wasn't going to give you a penalty, I would be using that. Sim gets the penalty, but Vosey doesn't. I think it's because Vosey may have braked through that corner, so he didn't get penalized. But it looks like we might have a battle again between me and Jock. I'm just trying to catch up to Jock. Jock's pulling away now. His fastest lap of 1:35.255. And mine is a 1:36 still. I'm not running quite as fast as the top three, but I'm right there with Jock. I'm not too far behind. I'm just going to try to catch him here. I really need the points on that podium. I need to be on that podium for P3. But Jock is hindering me from being able to do that. Running almost a second faster than me. Jock's still going to have the P3 position. I'm just trying to track him down. I'm trying to do as much as I can to regain that P3 position. Coming through the chicane now, coming out of it. I might have a run there. I do gain a little bit of time on Jock through those chicanes, but I never can catch him on the final corner, and that's really what messes me over here. And I'm cutting it down a little bit too early on the exit of that corner. I think I should stay to the outside a little bit more and keep my foot on the throttle instead of having to let off trying to keep my car inside the line. Braking a little bit later than Jock there. I'm trying to get as much time off of him as I can, trying to get up close to him again for that P3 position. Sim's about the same distance from Vosey that I am from Jock, but Vosey has a 0.5 second penalty, so it's going to be detrimental to his race here. He might actually lose the position to Sim. I think there might be a 1 second gap though, so Vosey might serve this and still be able to get away with it. Vosey serves a 0.5 second penalty. Sim gets a 0.5 second penalty. Coming up to the chicane now. Vosey on the brakes, throttling through the chicane, tapping the cone just a little bit. Coming up to the final corner now. 5 laps to go in the round 4 of the Warrior Motorsports Mazda Cup. We only have 5 to go. Sim is in P2. Vosey's still in P1. Jock and I are looking to kind of battle here. I'm trying to catch up to Jock to get into a battle, but Jock's just got the distance from me. Mine looks up there in P6 with a 0.5 second penalty. He's going to have to adhere to the blue flag once more for the P3 and 4 drivers. I'm going to go on board with me here as I try to track down Jock. Mine looks overshoots the corner there and goes flying into the outfield there. I'm just trying to catch Jock right here, get as much speed as I can. Hard on the brakes right there. A little bit of throttle work just to try to get the rotation out of the car. That's a lot better of a line through that section than I usually have. I'm catching up to Jock just a little bit. I had a pretty big jump into that corner, but coming out of it, he's going to gain a little bit of time off of me. I'm going to have a little bit of speed through that corner, though. I'm going to gain a little bit of time on him. Hard on the brakes. I think that's what's killing me in this race. I get really hard on those brakes. Jock's slowly pulling away from me. I think I actually might be gaining now. Lap 16 out of 20. We're almost there to see who's going to get crowned the winner of this race. I jumped the curb just a little bit there. It looks like I might get a penalty for it. Yeah, I get a 0.5 second penalty there for cutting the corner on the chicane. And I overcorrect my car there as it gets a little bit sideways. Jock's going to pull away from me. Which is not what I need, especially since I have to serve a new penalty, a 0.5 second penalty, my first one of the race. But this race has not been a good race for me. I had a very bad start. I got pinched in between two cars, and then I make that mistake right there. Is not what I need to be doing. I need that podium because I am down 2 races. I really need to be up in P1, but that is almost impossible with Sim and Bozy in this race. So I'm just trying to track down P3 here for some points. Jock almost losing it, saves his car going around the corner, and I'm going to have a little bit of a run. But I don't think I'm going to have enough speed to catch up to him for that P3 position. Coming out of the hairpin now. I'm on throttle a little bit early there. I almost go wide into the grass. Braking early there. I like doing that just to get the rotation out of the car. I'm driving it a little bit harder this round since I really don't have anything to lose. 0.5 second penalty now is going to separate me and Jock again. Down to a 2-second gap. Braking a little later than I usually do through that corner. Jumping off of the curb. Almost losing the car again. Coming around the final corner to start lap 18. We've got 3 to go until this race is over. I'm going to go up to Sim trying to track down Bozy. Bozy's right there within reach of Sim. Sim's just trying to gain as much time as possible to catch up to Bozy. A pretty great battle going on between 1 and 2 now. They've been doing this battle for the last 10 laps, or the entire race. Sim dropped down from P1 to P2 after Bozy overtook him, and they've been battling ever since. Sim's just trying to gain as much time as possible. Trying to beat Bozy. Braking later than Bozy there into the chicane. Sim's going to jump off the curb. Almost losing the car, and he keeps it straight though. Into the final corner. Can he get a run through this corner and catch up to Bozy? Shifting coming out of the corner there. He's got the slipstream though, but I don't think he's close enough to make an overtake. He's going to be able. He sets the fastest lap time at 1:35.195 on lap 18 there. Coming into the first corner. Sim's going to look to gain a little bit of time there. Cutting down a little early. He's just trying to gain as much time as possible on Bozy. We're on lap 19 out of 20. We got 2 to go. Jock still pulling away from me. I've dropped down quite a bit from him. NW is just all by himself, and Mindlick's just now coming up to the chicane, getting ready. He's 2 laps down from the leaders there. Bozy and Sim still battling. Sim's trying to gain that time off of Vosey. He's going to have the slipstream coming down the back straightaway. He's going to need to look to gain a lot of time here and look for an overtake before these next couple of laps coming around. This time will be the final lap. We're going to hit the white flag this time around. We got a yellow flag up here. I think Mindlux is parked on the track. Vosey's still leading the race. He's led, I think, almost all 20 laps. I don't think he led the first lap. I think he's led 19 laps now. Starting the last lap, we are white flag. And Sim is still looking to gain time on Vosey. Jock is starting to pull away from me again. Jock's coming out of the chicane as I am entering it. And I almost overshoot that. I'm able to save it just a little bit and get my speed back there. Coming around the final corner, me and Jock now starting our last lap. And we have someone spinning around here. I think that's Mindlux. Mindlux spins his car and the leaders re-overtake him. He's going to be 3 laps down now. 2 laps, actually. Vosey and Sim still battling. Coming up to the last couple of corners. We're going to hit this back straightaway, and then they have the chicane in the final corner until the race is over. Sim is looking for the podium here, or he's on the podium, but he's looking for the P1 position. Vosey's got it. Sim wants it. Can Sim make a move before the end of the race here? Sim's got the slipstream. He looks for the inside line. He's going to tuck back behind Vosey coming into the chicane here. Coming out of the chicane. I don't think Sim's got the speed. Sim has a run, though. Coming up to the final corner, Sim looks for the inside. Vosey blocks him. Sim is right on Vosey's tail, throttling out of the final corner. It could be anybody's race. Vosey breaks the slipstream, and Sim is not able to overtake him. Vosey P1, Sim P2. Jock coming around to the chicane now. I think Mindlux just drove off the track again. Jock overshoots the chicane. Coming out of the chicane. I'm going into it now. Mindlux is just parked on the chicane. I think Jock is going to finish in the P3 position. Jock finishes in P3. I'm going to come around the final corner now for a P4 position in my second race of the season. NW Star is going to finish in the P5 position. Mindlux finishes in P6. And then unfortunately Squash lagged out. Squash is going to finish in P7. He's still going to get points for showing up to the race, but he did not finish it, which is very unfortunate. Mindlux finishes his race now, and NW Star is still coming up the back straightaway. He's not going to be able to finish the race, but he finishes in P5.